Hello everyone, good afternoon. I hope everybody's rested after the coffee break. My name is Kat Pokwicka-Croucher. I'm the CEO and founder of Ecopolplast. Today I would like to talk to you about the digital product passport implementation, which is still something quite new. The regulation isn't up until mid-next year in the European Union, but we've decided to implement it already. I'll explain to you why.
Global supply chains rely on trust, yet visibility often stops at the warehouse door. CircuLens and Zebra deliver real-time locating across every pallet, part, and product. Our digital twin maps your warehouse live, so teams see inventory move as it happens. Need to audit yesterday? One click shows the history of every item, from receiving to dispatch. And with a secure digital product passport, data travels with the product. Each passport captures origin, batch, and impact data. Instantly shareable with partners. GS1 compliant, ESG ready. CircuLens, integrity you can see in real time.
The video is here just to show you the process a little bit better. I'm a humanities person, not a technology person, so if you have any technical questions, I'll happily take them, but I cannot guarantee I'll be able to answer them. Just a little bit about who we are and what we do. Ecopolplast was founded in 2018, so theoretically quite a while ago, but as a lot of startups, we struggled with obtaining funding. Production, whoever of you is in manufacturing, you know that production equipment is extremely expensive. So it took us a while to secure funding. We got a grant from European Innovation Council, 2.5 million euros in 2022, which allowed us to move ahead and put together our first production line. And we only really started commercial sales end of last year. So we are a real startup. By the by, just to make you smile a little bit, if you ever thought of going into the startup world, if you want to do a startup, my advice is don't. Okay, what we do. The granules that you see in the picture resemble actually what we manufacture. We take recycled materials and put them back into the economy. We take the post-consumer plastics that we normally throw out. At the moment, we use polypropylene and high-density polyethylene. So just to get a better picture, it's usually the bottles from shampoos or detergents that we use that are recycled, and we then take the material and reuse it, and we mix it with either recycled tire rubber or recycled EPDM rubber. That means that our products are 100% recycled content. It's actually quite unusual because you have thermoplastic materials. What we do is called thermoplastic, so basically elasticized plastic, right? You have a lot of thermoplastics available in the market that are somewhat green, but nobody's making what we're making, taking post-consumer materials and making them into a fully fledged, good quality materials. Now, I said don't do startups, so why am I doing it? Well, I think the slide tells it all. We have a problem. I know everybody knows that, but just to give you a better picture, the amount of plastic that we throw out each year, if you were to cube it into 1 meter square, 1 meter cubes, you could use the amount of plastic from just 1 year to cover up the whole of Switzerland 3 cubes high. Okay, just from 1 year. The tires that we throw out, if you put them one on top of the other, you could build a bridge from Earth to the moon. It's Scary, no? Yeah. I assume most of us who are here have children. They need a place to live. So this is why I do it. I mentioned what we do. Thermoplastics are a material that are used in applications where pure plastic doesn't work because it's too brittle, it's not strong enough, it doesn't have the required properties. So, for example, probably all of you have cars. The plastic elements in cars are typically thermoplastics, simply because plastic is too brittle. Construction, home and garden, so garden furniture, usually it's also thermoplastics, not just pure plastic. If you have chairs, garden chairs that break easily, it means they are plastic. Storage solutions, outdoor playgrounds, toys as well. You can use these materials for toys. Sports equipment, so for example, if you have kids and they have scooters, elements of these scooters are often made out of thermoplastics. Okay, why did we decide to implement digital product passport? Well, I mentioned before, don't do startups, and I'll go a bit deeper into that right now. When you look at this slide, quite impressive, right? A lot of USPs. And these are true. These are true USPs. We don't greenwash. But as a startup, how do you convince customers to a material that is brand new on the market when you're not big enough, when you don't have customers that are large international brands to actually implement your material in their production? Well, we constantly look for innovation. We constantly look for the additional USPs that will make it easier for us to access those customers. Hence, one of the first things we did when we got the grant was the ISO certification. Then another certification we did was Recyclers. This is a certification that confirms that the plastic that we use truly is recycled plastic. And again, there's no greenwashing involved. So when Circulence came to us and suggested the product passport as a case study for them as well, because we're still small enough to easily implement anything we want to implement. You know, when a large organization tries to implement anything new, it gets tricky. When you're still small and you don't have a large group of employees, it's that much easier. So yes, when Circulence came to us, I said, yes, let's go for it. The whole story started off with warehouse management system based on RFID tagging. I am a very organized person. I like to know where things are. But of course, in a warehouse, I don't put them away myself. I don't even have a forklift license. So I was looking for a way to make sure that we know where everything is. Our product portfolio is growing. We operate in big bags, but the portfolio is growing. I have large ambitions for the company. Eventually, we would like to have manufacturing capacity of 100,000 tons per year. That means at any given time, about 6,000 pallet spaces in our warehouse, a lot of which will be customized to our customers' needs. So to make sure that, again, coming out of the startup point of view, to make sure we don't lose credibility with our customers, to make sure we know where everything is, to make sure that everything that was ordered is properly delivered, we decided to go into the live feed RFID tracking. And that's where the idea for digital product passport evolved. Circulence is providing us with the software. The RFID is based on Zebra equipment. Now here, a hint to the Zebra team, what would make our lives actually even easier in terms of the equipment. We are currently using the handheld devices to read the tags, and we are leasing our forklifts. The forklifts are not owned by us. So what we need is a reader that can be mounted on the forklift that is wireless and cableless, because we cannot, go into mess up basically the forklift. I strongly believe that this is something that will be needed by a lot of other companies in the near future, because with the digital product passport, a lot of manufacturing companies will have to implement the RFID-based digital product passport. Okay, so this is a screenshot of an example of a product passport that you can actually see on our website. When you go to ecoplastomer.eu, you have to scroll down, all the way, and there you have product passports. You can click on it, and you have 4 exemplary passports that are there. This is the first information that you see, and it provides everything that you need to know about the product. So first thing first, it shows you, because we deal with big bags, it shows you the big bag, the amount of the kilograms that are in the big bag, all the numbers and codes that are required, and also the manufacturing date. Next is company information, and in my opinion, I used to, before I got on the crazy road to wanting to start up my own business, I was in marketing communication, and I strongly believe that this is also a great marketing tool, because depending on how you phrase the information about your company, you can present yourself in a really attractive way. The key to the digital product passport is the life cycle analysis, of course, right? Because it's all about tracking the natural resources that are being used. The life cycle analysis at the moment needs to be done externally. This is quite complicated and costly, not necessarily in our case because our product portfolio is not that big. But Circulence is also, this is one of the reasons why I agreed to Digital Product Passport, because they are just finishing off software that will automatically calculate the life cycle analysis based on the input that you put in the software. So for me personally, this is very important because LCA done externally is very expensive, whereas if you can do it within the software that you own, it will be easier, cheaper, and faster. What is important to me personally is that digital product passports stop greenwashing. I mean, it's not possible to greenwash here. You have the provenance of the materials, and it needs to be trackable. So this is a big plus in my opinion. And the way it works is, of course, by integrating all the systems that we're using. So just like I said, we started off with warehouse management system based on RFID tracking. The reason it's also super important for us, the RFID tracking, the reason it's super important for us is because when we started off, we didn't realize how important quality control was when dealing with recycled materials. You all have to sort your waste, but it still happens that the waste is not sorted properly. Hence, quality control is super important. I mean, right now we're starting a pilot project with Philips. Once we finish it and they decide into which consumer products our material will be implemented, it will be super important for us to ensure that we keep we provide them with constant quality, right? That the material is exactly the same. So quality control is super important, and the RFID tracking lets us follow that. Right now, the warehouse is still small, but once we start growing, it could easily get out of control. With this, we'll be able to control it better. What's next? Our material is circular. It means that the technology that we created allows for reusing of the granules that we manufactured. We did the testing of only 5 life cycles. Most likely it can be more. We just didn't have the money to do more. Which means that you take our granules, you make a product out of it, you shred the product, re-inject it, 5 cycles. after 5 cycles, the quality of our material is basically the same as of the original granules, which means that it doesn't have to go back to the landfill. It can be reused in a loop. That means that our next challenge, because we're not there yet, will be to see, number one, if manufacturers will be willing to reclaim the products from the customers, to reuse the raw material. In my opinion, from a marketeer's point of view, it makes total sense because you can do so many marketing actions around it, not mentioning the cost savings, right? Because you're reclaiming the actual material. But then, how will RFID work with that when you're reclaiming the material and you're reusing it? How will the product passport follow that material? This is something that is still an unknown that we need to discover. But for sure, circular materials like ours, despite being still relatively new, are definitely the future. And they are creating a brand new world of possibilities that all the technologies that we are implementing can help us manage. Thank you very much. As I said before, I'm not a technical person, but happy to take any questions you have. If I'm unable to answer them, I'll get back to you at a later stage. Thank you.